Hi, I'm Adam from Watford Opinions, and Watford have now failed to win in 3 successive matches following today's disappointing, lackluster, underwhelming 0-0 draw against Coventry City. To cut straight to the point, Xisco said that Watford would be trying new tactics against Coventry City. And he technically didn't lie. Instead of doing a 4-4-2, Watford did a 4-2-3-1, but effectively it was the same because Deeney was playing as the number 10. So even though it was a 4-2-3-1, it was still, if you're looking at it in terms of personnel, a 4-4-2 type formation. And it kind of acted like that for most of the match anyway and was super ineffective. Now, with that being said, it is hard to train for a completely new tactic and formation in the span of 3 or 4 training days. But still, the fact that he said there would be a new formation and then there was technically, but not really, is very just disappointing to see. And then the squad selection is another issue. Will Hughes, the club's best central midfielder by quite a landslide, and that's hard to debate. Will Hughes was on the bench when he was clearly fully healthy. João Pedro was on the bench for Andre Gray. Andre Gray had the video released in the beginning of the week, so maybe Xisco thought to give him another chance for some reason, but Pedro should be starting. And then I don't know what Philip Zinchenko has to do to start. Having him as a number 10 would be much more creative than having Deeney as a number 10. And so the squad selection just baffled me. And then in the match, it just showed. I mean, the players, they looked a bit lackluster. There was no Xisco, he wants a high press, but then that's down to the players to put in that effort, and for most of the match he didn't get that. But Coventry City, I mean, not having Will Hughes certainly did not help us, but Coventry City, through Hamer mainly, controlled the midfield, and since they controlled the midfield, they controlled the entire run of play. And besides a 20 or a 15-minute span in the second half, Coventry City were undoubtedly the better team. So right now, promotion is looking as unlikely as ever because supposedly there were going to be new tactics today and they didn't come. So the squad still has no identity with how they're supposed to play. So hopefully next match, Xisco was training a different new tactic, but he just didn't feel there was enough time to completely change the formation. Because I think something like a 3-4-3 would force us to play down the wings and force us to establish some sort of attacking identity down the wing. But, I mean, the club just lacked creativity, seemed to lack heart, lack effort, lack desire. And yes, we're still in the promotion spots, but it's looking a lot more bleak than ever. I mean, under Vladimirovic, the football was boring and lackluster. I've used those words a lot today. But at least there was some sort of identity, some sort of tactic, some sort of direction. Under Xisco, whether it be his fault or the player's fault, that is still kind of hard to establish. There really doesn't seem to be any sort of identity at all. And it's like I said after the defeat against Queen's Park Rangers. It's not that we don't have good enough players, because obviously, player by player, our squad is much better than Coventry City's and most other squads in the championship. The problem is, we play as 11 individuals. There was no unity on the pitch today. There was, besides, again, that 10-minute flurry, there was no cohesion, there was no creativity, there was no intricate runs and overlaps. It was kind of just hoping for the best, putting 11 good players on the pitch and hoping for the best. And, I mean, the players have to take accountability. Xisco, I mean, the squad selection has to be better, to state it simply, because that was definitely not the strongest squad that the club could have fielded. And yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say that you yourself cannot figure out from just watching. I mean, it's frustrating. Big match against Preston North End on next Saturday. So hopefully there's a change in fortunes, because I'm starting to think Xisco is definitely on some borrowed time if he does not change the results quickly. Thank you.